Neanderthals are often depicted as brutish cavemen, but science shows that our early ancestors were actually quite advanced.
Hey everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for more science, space and tech news to share with you. Came across this over at The Conversation. This should be very interesting actually. Neanderthal remains found in France reveal that there were not one, but at least two lineages of late Neanderthals in Europe, our research shows. Okay. As I say, not a scientist myself, but archaeology, anthropology, astronomy, computer science, just love all science. I think it's fantastic. Aerospace engineering, I just love sharing these stories with everybody because the more we learn, the better off we are. It's fascinating. Let's have a look at this. The prevailing narrative of how humanity came about seems straightforward enough. In Europe, the last Neanderthals bowed out as Homo sapiens began arriving on the continent around 40,000 to 45,000 years ago. Neanderthals were thought to be part of a single genetically homogeneous population spread across Spain, France, Croatia, Belgium and Germany. Now, genetic studies supported this view, suggesting a uniform population that would eventually give way to the newcomers, Homo sapiens. In just a few millennia, between 45,000 and 42,000 years ago, the brief cohabitation of the two species in Europe ended with the replacement of the Neanderthals. The explanation was elegant and simple, perhaps a little too simple. Okay. Look, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video, so you can pop in, check out any embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want. It does make for an interesting read beyond the main article, believe me. As I say, I'm not a scientist myself. I just love all science. If there are any anthropologists out there, please feel free to weigh in. Love to hear your thoughts on this. This is amazing, this. A new lineage of Neanderthals. Now, our research, published in Cell Genomics on 11th of September, complicates this picture, revealing that there was not one, but at least two lineages of Neanderthals, following genetic analysis of body remains found in the Mandarin Cave, southeastern France. Now, the study in Cell Genomics, which the author co-led with Tarsika Vermaler and Martin Sikora, population geneticists at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark, as well as Andane Seguin Orlando, apologies for any name mispronunciations there, a paleontologist at the University of Toulouse, is the culmination of nearly 10 years of research leading to the discovery of France's first Neanderthal body since 1978. We've all chose to call him Thorin after the writings of J.R.R. Tolkien, since Thorin was one of the last dwarf kings in Tolkien's lore. Fittingly, the Thorin of the Mandarin Cave is believed to be one of the last Neanderthals. Yes, very interesting indeed. Who is the author of this paper? Let's see. Yes, there he is, author Ludovic Slimak. Excellent. Looks like you're Professor of Archaeology, the University de Toulouse. Excellent stuff. Well done, Ludovic. Well done. Now, good old Thorin here apparently is among the most recent occupations of the Mandarin Cave. We discovered his first teeth in 2015, lying on the ground at the cave's entrance, barely covered by a few leaves. Although the teeth were initially exposed, they were embedded in fragile sand, making the excavation delicate. Now, the slightest brushstroke risked displacing the precious remains, making it difficult to determine their precise precision in the ground. As the head of research at Mandarin Cave, the author decided we proceed to excavate the body with tweezers. Grain by grain, our team worked painstakingly for 2 to 3 months each, a process that lasted for 9 years and is still ongoing. This Herculean field effort allowed the recovery of the tiniest remains, which were carefully documented in their original positions. Through three-dimensional mapping, the team has reconstructed the exact location of the remains in the ground. Interesting. Now, what we'll do here is a little video, give some background on Neanderthals. It's something that I'd really like to watch myself, actually, and just see it, because it's very, very fascinating. So let's check it out, and we'll carry on the conversation when we come out the other side.
Neanderthals are often depicted as brutish cavemen, but science shows that our early ancestors were actually quite advanced. Neanderthals, or Homo neanderthalensis, are our closest relatives in the human family tree. The species lived from about 400,000 to 40,000 years ago and inhabited an area that stretched as far west as Europe's Atlantic coast and as far east as Central Asia. Their habitat reached northward to modern-day Belgium, making them the first humans to survive a cold glacial ecosystem. The North's cold environment may have influenced Neanderthals' physique. Their bodies were relatively short, with males averaging 5 feet 5 inches and females 5 feet 1 inch tall. And they were stocky, with broad chests, bulky torsos, and muscular limbs. These adaptations helped Neanderthals generate and retain body heat. Also, their noses were large and had relatively high bridges. This created a nasal chamber that warmed and humidified the cold, dry air they'd breathe in northern regions. Apart from adaptations that helped Neanderthals survive a harsh wintry habitat, the species also developed large brains. They were similar in size to modern humans' brains and were often larger. An increase in brain size may have played a significant role in another type of adaptation: culture. Culture is indicative of an intelligent species, and archaeological evidence suggests that Neanderthals had a relatively sophisticated culture. They built shelters, made and wore clothing, and created advanced tools. In fact, they were the first human species to make tools out of bone, not just stone. They also created objects that served ornamental purposes. Neanderthals are suspected to be the first humans to carry out the symbolic gesture of burying their dead and adorning gravesites with flowers. Neanderthals may have also created what may be the world's oldest cave art, which was found in Spain. Despite advances in their culture, sometime after 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals mysteriously disappeared. Some scientists believe the Neanderthals were killed or outcompeted by modern humans, or Homo sapiens, who arrived in Europe at around the same time as the Neanderthals' extinction. However, another theory suggests that Neanderthals mated with modern humans and were absorbed into the humans' much larger population. That may explain why most people of European or Asian descent have 1 to 2% Neanderthal genes in their DNA. For more than 150 years, Neanderthals have perplexed anthropologists. The first Neanderthal fossil specimen was discovered in Belgium in 1829 by Philippe Charles Schmerling. However, it wasn't officially classified as Neanderthal until decades later. The first fossil to be recognized as Neanderthal and as an early human or genus Homo fossil was found in 1856 by Quareman in Germany. The new species was named Neanderthalensis after the area where the fossils were found, Neander Valley. Neanderthals' fossils tell us how evolution built them to be sturdy to survive their harsh environment. But their tools, art, and DNA tell us that their resilience also involved innovation, creativity, and social behavior, much like Homo sapiens today.
Well, that was very interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, a bit of background on Neanderthals. There's a lot of stuff in there I was unaware of. Fascinating, isn't it? Interesting indeed. God, I love science. Meet Thorin. Here we go. So far, 31 teeth. Thorin had 34, representing the first Neanderthal ever found with cernumary molars. Along with the jawbone, fragments of the skull, phalanges, and thousands of tiny bones have been discovered. The excavation process here requires remarkable patience. After 9 years of effort, we have only managed to clear a small window of about 50 centimetres by 30 centimetres wide. Numerous remains of this body are likely to gradually emerge in the coming years. Let's have a look at these photos here and see what they'll tell us. Here we go. There we go, 31 out of 34 of Thorin's teeth were found, making it the most complete dentition not a scientist, obviously, ever found from Neanderthals. Thorin had two supernumerary molars, which appear in addition to the normal set of teeth. There we go, the first fossil hominin with such kind of teeth ever found. Such supernumerary teeth may well result and reveal problems of consanguinity among this group, a configuration also highlighted by his DNA. Very interesting. That's pretty cool. Bit of 3D modelling going on there, I'm assuming. Wow. This is really cool. The teeth seem to be in and let's say I'm not a dental expert, but anybody out there, they look to be in reasonably good condition. A bit worn down, but is that a cavity? Again, I'm not a dental expert. I'm just looking at them and thinking, well, yes, interesting indeed. Oh, yeah, there we go. So we've got a bit of a cavity there. That is absolutely amazing, isn't it? Wow, that was really interesting. Our study shows that Thorin's population diverged significantly from other Neanderthals in Europe over more than 50,000 years, unlike most late Neanderthals who display genetic homogeneity. Thorin's lineage remained genetically distinct from 105,000 years ago until their extinction. This raises the question, how could human populations remain isolated for tens of thousands of years despite living within a 2-week walking distance of each other? Interesting. This is the challenge Thorin represents with us. Evolutionary, cultural and social processes that seem unimaginable if we try to apply them to sapiens populations, as we understand them through cultural anthropology, history and archaeology. Something appears to profoundly differentiate the ways of being in the world of Neanderthals and sapiens, something far deeper than mere cultural or territorial issues. It confronts us directly with the enigma of Neanderthal and quite possibly our own inability to understand these ancient species. Yeah, so 2 weeks walking distance of each other. I'm just wondering whether there was, obviously based on location. But, I mean, as in, were they, they on the other side of a mountain? Were they isolated by, say, geography? Was there a water body between them, a deep water body? This all just, as I said, it just, questions running around in my head. Were they just not intelligent enough to, figure out there might have been neighbours or something? It's quite interesting stuff, as I say. Don't know anything about it. I'm just thinking aloud here. It's quite, as I say, I get absorbed in science. I think it's fascinating. Thorin's peers and other ghosts. Now, strikingly, we found that Thorin is not the only one in his lineage, with genetic analysis revealing links to another Neanderthal discovered over 1,700 kilometres away in Gibraltar. Now, this Neanderthal, nicknamed Nana, was thought to be an ancient individual who lived 80 to 100,000 years ago. However, the study in cell genomics reveals that Nana and Thorin lived during the same period, within the last millennia of Neanderthal existence. Now, this close genetic proximity suggests that Nana and Thorin belong to the same population of late Neanderthals, a population that would no longer have any exchanges with the classic European Neanderthals after the 105th millennium and up to until their astonishing extinction some 42,000 years ago. Makes you sort of wonder what happened. Interesting. No exchanges at all. Clearly, I would suggest geographical isolation would be the guess. But again, please, any anthropologists down there, many scientists, please let us know, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one. Our study also suggests of a ghost Neanderthal lineage, another population that roamed Europe at the same time, yet remains unknown. Now, this implies that there are other Neanderthal populations in Europe in relatively recent periods that belonged either to the classic Neanderthal, neither the classic Neanderthals, nor to Thorin's population. But genetics is then able to identify moments when Thorin's ancestors could episodically exchange genes with these ghost populations that remain largely unknown to archaeology and genetics. A fascinating story then slowly begins to emerge in which Neanderthal is not a monolithic block, but is represented by different populations that nevertheless developed only rare and sometimes no exchanges among themselves. Okay. Rewriting everything we know about early humanity. The revelations of additional lineages of Neanderthal are the latest discovery to prompt us to radically rethink our understanding of early humanity. In 2022, after 32 years of archaeological research, our team had already revealed the existence of a first sapiens migration to European territory 10 to 12,000 years before the first migration previously recognised. Okay. In the following year, we released 3 papers questioning our conceptions of this singular moment in human history, redefining not only the timing of these populations' arrival, but also that they had mastered advanced technology, such as the bow and arrow, tracing their steps back to the Mediterranean Levant, and proposing a profound redefinition of the entire historical structure of this singular moment in European history. And as I say, by leaving the link to the main article below the video, you can pop in and check out these embedded links and go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want beyond the main article. It's fascinating. And as I say, it just blows me away. Let's have a look at this. While Ludovic Slimak stumbled upon Thorin's first teeth in 2015, the teeth in this first photo were found in 2019. Let's have a look. Always helps if you know where to click the mouse, David. Here we go. There we go. There they are. There are the teeth and the roots and the jaw. There they are, working their way through them. Fascinating. Another tooth. Was part of a jaw, perhaps? Yes, there it is. There's the jaw, with the teeth embedded in the jaw. Here we go. There's the jaw, and there's some teeth, and there's a root there, roots of teeth there. This is amazing. As I say, I do get a little bit engrossed, so you'll have to excuse me. I get very excited over this sort of all sorts of discoveries. There's the jaw again. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely and positively amazing. All right, so the latest discovery of Thorin's remains, which I began to unveil in The Naked Neanderthal, poses countless questions. Did Neanderthal die out like the dinosaurs following a natural upheaval, carrying away his entire world? Around Neanderthal, theories related to climate change, volcanic explosions, cosmic radiation, or devastating epidemics have flourished in recent years. To understand sapiens replacing Neanderthal, we must above all understand what Neanderthal was and what sapiens is. And it is my conviction that the nature of the two creatures deeply eludes us. The research continues, and as more discoveries are made, the story only deepens. That's absolutely amazing, isn't it? That's incredible. Ludovic Slimak. There we go. Absolutely amazing, Ludovic. Very, very impressed. Yeah, that's incredible, as I said. Don't know a lot about science, don't know anything about it. Not a scientist myself. I just love learning all this stuff and sharing it with people. And again, anthropology and all this sort of stuff is just one of the most amazing sciences, because we can, as I said, we just the more we know, the more we learn, and the more we learn, the better it is. I just think it's incredible. All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video. I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
please, Spock, do me a favor. And don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.
5, 4,